Hey
Hello!
everyone.
Definitely have to move this a bit. There we go.
Hey RP. Hey Jessica. So how has everybody been? Not just your weekend. I did not stream last week. Tina, I thought your bunny was a weird shadow on my stream or on my screen. I was like, what is that?
He's currently hunting for treats that are directly behind him. Is he going to find them? We shall see. He thinks that I have them because he can spell them. But yes, I have been doing the school, and it has been, for the most part, good. Boo, turn around so the people can see you. Come on. Oh,
Yes, no, I shall not, mother.
literally, the treats are right there. Um, can, you're being fussy today. But yeah, I've been doing the school. School's been good. It's been kind of weird to be back in it now that I'm in my 30s. But my very early 30s, I literally just turned 30, but still in my 30s. He needs help figuring out where the treats are. Come on, my little guy. They're right. They're literally right. Oh yeah, you're very sassy today. Maybe he didn't want to be a guest after all. The second the stream intro started, he like popped out of the enclosure and just like glared at me, and I was like, usually it's because he wants attention, but I guess today I misread his signals. But yeah, I've been doing the school. I did update One Mystery Treat, and I have slept a lot. That's been it.
I also slept a lot. I slept so much that I told my mother, I am sleeping like 16 hours a day. The only other time I did this, I was pregnant, and I'm not pregnant, so maybe I should schedule a doctor's appointment. My mother said, or you have a depression. And I was like, that also would make sense. And for me, at least, knowing that is like half of the battle. G.I. Joe. But yeah, because then I can like make moves to try to like help it and stuff. And I have been doing better, but as like I spoke with quite a few people, Tina included, I did, with the timing and everything. The readjusting my writing priority expectations, readjusting my writing expectations and goals probably hit me a lot harder than I wanted to accept that it did. But
Yeah.
okay. I think I will be a lot better once I reestablish my own routine, but I haven't been able to reestablish my own routine because I'm in this limbo at the moment because Chris, with his job, he's since the beginning of like August, he was supposed to move to a different position, but his work's being ass hats, and they're kind of like they were ping ponging which position to put him in, and then finally it was all like settled that he was going to move to nights, and but he was supposed to like have been moved already, but he can't be moved, or he couldn't be moved because the person he was training to replace him wasn't forklift certified, which he warned his supervisor. He was like, I can't certify people, I can just teach them how to do it, but they still piddled around. Either way, hopefully next week he will switch, which when he switches over, um, then that'll like kind of help let me make my routine, because my routine centers around Chris and the children's routines. So
Hmm.
I have to wait till their routines are cemented and then I can make my routine. But good news is the boys' school bus has been on time. So
Oh.
that's been good. They still like for Nana Witch to pick them up after school, which that's now between them and my mom. Because like I remember I used to like when my papa picked me up from school too, so it's like that's a y'all thing now. yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
she does that when she can.
I'm glad that it's on the up and up. Yeah, when the stream was canceled, I was like, I haven't heard from Sam in a while. And
Yeah,
then
I
proceeded to
know.
message everyone.
I will say one of the things that did make me feel a lot better was getting. I felt so bad when I saw your timestamp because you had literally messaged me like 10 minutes after I had gone to bed that day.
Oh.
So I was like, oh no, like poor Tina. Currently, I'm not sleeping 16 hours a day. Currently, I'm sleeping from like 9:30 or 10 to 5 in the morning. So that's 5, 6. I'm sleeping about 6, 7 hours, which is normal. I'm not a fan of my current bedtime because, like, all my night owl friends, I can't talk to them because I'm asleep. But
Isn't that such a pain? You know how I feel about this
yeah,
predicament because I'm in the same boat.
uh, Jessica said I've been good. I've been trying to edit Potions and Pleasure. I love that title.
Yeah, that's a
Still writing
great
a bit
title.
on Meno de Moste and writing a book Bible for To Kill Me Kindly. Been doing a lot of things. I love your titles.
Yeah, amazing
Very
titles.
good titles. Oh, oops. I'm trying to respond.
Boo is trying to tell you how his time has been, which has mostly been begging me for all sorts of food and sulking when I don't give it to him. Let's see.
Also, well, Chris and I went on a date yesterday because we both very much needed it. And
Nice.
yeah, so we went out to this new hot pot place in town, which is like the first time my husband has had hot pot since we figured out how hot pot works. And oh my gosh, he was so happy. It was like watching a kid in a candy store. I loved it. Hold on. But then we went to like Office Depot because I wanted to like look for like a paper organizer for my desk in the bedroom because the kids bring me their important school papers and then they get put on my desk, but the problem is like the cats and everything, then the papers get knocked off and they end up under my bed and then I don't know where the paper went. So I got this like 4-tiered paper tray, so and I'm leaving the top empty so that the cats can sit on the top.
That's smart.
Then my papers are in the trays. So I told my children, I was like, hey, when you have important paper for me, put it right in this shelf. And then I'll know that there's paper I need to look at. And they were like, okay. But while we were in there, there was this vitamin D spray. So it's like you you spray it in your mouth once a day, and it's a 30-day supply. It's supposed to give you. So I'm like,
Hmm.
it was cheap, which mildly concerning. But Chris and I both got one because one, I need vitamin D, so I'm gonna give that a try. Uh, RP's been okay. Found out my dog has cancer last week. Oh, I'm
Oh
sorry. We have to
no.
amputate his leg to give him more time because he doesn't seem ready to go yet. But okay, other than that. Well, I'm glad
Aw.
that there's an option to give him more time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to hear that. My heart goes out. I want it. Yeah, we do. It was like one of those occasions too where we really enjoyed it, and then because we are parents that like to experience certain things with the kids, we were like, oh, the kids are gonna love this. Like for those who don't know how hot pot works, basically you get a broth and then you just boil things in the broth and then you eat them. Like you can pour some broth in your bowl and have a little mini soup, but basically you're just boiling things in broth and then eating it. So it's a lot of fun. What I like to do is I like to get rice instead of a noodle, and then I put the rice in and soak the rice in the broth. Who is messaging the group chat?
That's a good question. I am having so many shenanigans today. Let's
Husband is
see.
harassing the children. You want to go again now? We can't go today. I'm streaming and you have work.
What the heck, Sam? Let's go to Hot Pot. Come on.
Oh,
Just fly me in.
next time Tina visits us, we gotta take her to the hot pot. And like a lot of, I don't know if
I don't even know
this
if I've
is typical.
had Hot Pot.
See, I don't know if this is typical of hot pot places, but every hot pot I've been to also has the barbecue option, which is unlimited hot pot and unlimited Korean barbecue. So,
See, Korean
and it's
barbecue
like
I've had, but I
really
don't think I've
good
had Hot
because
Pot.
it's like you get either unlimited hot pot or unlimited barbecue, or for $5 more you get both. So it's like
That's a pretty
but they
good
have a
deal.
2 hour limit. They're like, bitches, you better eat
Oh,
in your
yeah.
2 hours. Don't sit there and let everything settle and then eat more. But no, it was good. Tomorrow, maybe. I mean, I'm up for it. Is our wallet up for it? Because it was not cheap. You said broth in my terrible hearing. I thought you said you were cooking things in a broth. It's a very special broth, RP. It's a stainless steel bra and it's well insulated.
Only fits one boob.
No, it serves two people at once. So.
Actually, I had this is maybe a touch team. I touched on server work. Will live. But I had where when this is not that disclaimer is not going to help what I'm about to say, but that disclaimer I just said is not going to help what I'm about to say now. But when I was in high school, I was 18. I participated in a breast cancer study. That like the local hospital had contacted our school, and it involved me filling out a absurd amount of surveys about what vegetables I eat, but also involved me getting an MRI, specifically for the chest area, and I did not know this at the time because I'd only seen the MRIs where like you lay on your back. For the boob one, they have like two cutouts, and then on the inside it looks like photocopiers, and you just at least they didn't make me get what's that one? Not I know it's the other exam. I don't remember what it's called, where they like pancake it. It has a specific name. What the heck is that called? You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Where they pancake your
Are- I like how you use mammogram. Yeah. At least they didn't make me do that. The fact that Google got my like allusions to really good. But
I used your words because
oh, Boo's sulking at me now. Literally got like 5 treats. And he's like, how dare you?
Oh yeah, Jessica said mammogram.
Yeah, Jessica got it. Yeah.
Keep seeing ads on Facebook for Temu, and one of the products that comes up that you can buy is a super weird looking breast massager.
I mean, why not?
Do your breasticles need massaging?
I mean, maybe they do. But
I want to just one day do a Temu haul. Just buy a bunch of stuff from Temu and test this quality. Well, because I've heard that it's like a lot of other what is it? They're like third-party hosts. It's where it's a website that just hosts third-party sellers.
Yeah, isn't it basically like Wish or Alibaba and all those, like in that sort of same vein?
I know, but it's supposed to be more reputable because they like supposedly, from what I have heard, they vet their sellers more than the others. Maybe they do. Fox said don't do that.
I mean, but yeah. I mean, before the stream, we were talking about how both of us have been having a great year of books. I don't know if we want to chit chat about
Well,
that.
first we should introduce the people to
Introduce the
us.
people. There's
Got
RP. I'll just motion where the chat is. There's RP. There's Jessica.
I'm Lex Diskett.
That that took me like way too long to figure out what you just said. You messed with the fact that I have terrible hearing so badly there. Um, that was a brain twister. That really got me.
Yeah, I try.
But yes, now that my name is on screen, I'm Tina, aka Cabby. Um, I make comics of the sometimes spooky but mostly smoochy at the moment variety that are gay as heck. My current project is a gay secret admirer romantic mystery called One Mystery Treat, and we're in the thick of the clues at the moment. And it's been a fun time.
I
I
need to do the next chapter so I can see what was added to Val's board without Val knowing.
What do you mean? Wait. Wait, hold on. Repeat that again for me, please. Because
I
you cut out
need
a little
to
bit.
know what was added to Val's board behind his back.
You see it in the next panel.
No, you don't see it in the next
Yeah,
panel.
I put it in that. I had to like copy it to the next panel because you see that Val's partner Drew put it on the board, and then the next panel is just the board, but you do see it.
Oh, because you updated yesterday.
Oh, you hadn't seen the update yesterday. Oh, okay.
No,
Then you'll fully up. There's another moment then of you get to see the process of adding things to the board.
I caught up on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. I was unfortunately late to posting because I needed to lay down because my back hurt, and what I thought was going to
didn't
be a
know you
30-minute
were
nap turned
I
to
thought
4 hours.
I didn't know you were late. I thought I was on time for once.
Oh, I mean, you probably were, but it just I've stuff's been going on. My update schedule has been getting later and later. I'll get back into the flow in the near future, but ebbs and flows. But anyway, so yeah, I make queer comics, and you can read them all for free at my website, cabby.com. And also, if you want to read on like Webtoon, Tapas, Linktree has all of that information. I do actually need to upload more of my one-offs on Webtoon and Tapas and such. I haven't done that yet, but I'm gonna make a note to do that. But yes, that is me, and unfortunately, because as you can see, I'm in a different location. I'm currently in my bedroom rather than living room, so my Link Queen duties will not be as robust as usual because I don't have access to my computer. I'm being a very good roommate and letting my roommate watch this action TV series that she's obsessed with because we tried to stream in the living room and you could very much hear the explosions. So I'm saving you guys from hearing the explosions, but it means I have to be, away from my Link Queen throne.
I must admit that I was a terrible host because I started reading and I zoned out. So,
Yeah, I kind of just vamped. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
You were reading my comic. How am I going to complain?
I was during the break, and then I was like, "Oh, that's what they put up." And then I just kept going. Then I was like, "Oh, whoops. I'm sorry. I'm terrible." Hi, I'm Samantha L. Nassett. This is my channel where I talk about parrot things, writer things, and parrot writer things. The good, the gritty, the bad, all of that. And we talk about each other's work, our enthusiasm for each other's work, and
Definitely.
things that we've read. That's what we will be talking about. I should be having a quarterly party this month. Should being the keyword here. Hopefully I will.
Are we doing the Flash Fiction free-for-all? Or is that not?
No, not this month. CB got her new, in case anybody has noticed the lack of CB this month.
We miss her. There's only a T.
I know. I'm
And an
sorry.
S.
Well, there was supposed to be a CB tonight. However, what happened is she got a second internship, and it's Monday evenings. So,
Good for her though.
yes, we are very proud of her. One of her internships, she actually gets to read scripts and what is the word I'm looking for? I think she screens them.
I
So
feel like
like
that's one of those
she's
things that like
she's now she's the intern in all the like media and stuff where it's like the intern has to read it. And if it gets past her, then
yeah, and I feel like that's also like such a like common like
I'm
starting off point for famous people, in the industry that they're like, I started off reading the scripts and then I wrote the scripts, So I'm happy for her. I'll shoot
she's
her
also been
a
working
DM.
really hard on her thesis, which let me tell you, the fact her thesis is a script is just awesome. But yes, it's a time traveling thesis, or well, it's a time traveling story with
It'd be fun if
a
her
man.
thesis was able to time travel.
Oh, that'd be wild. But no, like I'm really enjoying her telling me about her time traveling story. Because like the the one character, like the general premise of it is we've got a king and a sorcerer, and the king like they're in love with each other, and the king dies, and so the sorcerer like goes back in time to prevent certain things from happening so that the king gets to live a long life. And I'm like, yes, give me a character who is willing to screw the rest of the world over for the person they love. I'm down with
I
that.
feel like with all this talk of CB, I should throw in CB's legs.
Yes, we don't need a CB if you have a 4. What?
For what?
Good for her. I hope she enjoys her time there. We might have her back in after her semester in Cali.
That sounds so fancy. She's really living the dream.
She did.
In Cali, doing the screenwriting
She is
interny
no
thing.
longer. She
I
is
don't
no
think it's that
longer.
glamorous, but
She's no longer carless though. Like her. So they have
oh, that's good.
officially. Yeah, they've replaced Parker. I think she named the new car Miles.
That's really funny.
I know, because but so she's very happy. I think she too was starting to fall into a depression, mostly because like she was stuck in her apartment because like although California is supposed to have very good public transportation, apparently based on where their apartment was, it was like a 20 or 30-minute walk to the nearest bus stop, and
Ooh.
hot as as hot as Satan's balls at the moment. So like
Speaking
that
of, I need to
wasn't
turn on my freaking fan.
yeah, that wasn't like the most convenient of transport. So I think she was also like starting to get the stuck home with no transportation blues. Which I will say, one of the things that like when my mom was like, yeah, we were, or she's one of the other ways she pinpointed other than just me sleeping a lot is she's like, yeah, whenever I come to pick up the boys in the morning, you never like ask to like if I'll come back and take you out. It's like that was starting to concern me. So then she like kidnapped me twice last week. So, for just going out and hanging out. So I was like, okay, yeah, it's fine.
um, are you doing your intro? We did get very sidetracked. No, you did. We pulled it up, but you didn't actually because we got distracted by
I
CB.
finished it. No, I
Or
finished
maybe.
my intro. I
Okay,
don't
I'll
have
send.
I don't have much to advertise right now because I'm not doing Whip Wednesday, and I'm not doing the writing workshop. I could also wait. Storytellers Hearth, the weekend relay. It's up. It's it's 75 now. It wasn't last month, sir. Okay. But yeah, my intro was just short because I don't have a lot going on right now,
I
which is
see.
part of why I'm so sad.
Yeah. I don't know how to say that.
I was waiting for her to finish her intro, and then you did the give Sam before she finished.
Yeah, it was. The timing was all over the place today.
I'm sorry.
You need to start
I
making up facts so that your intro is longer.
All right. Okay. Well, it's 90 here, so it's hot after here. That's fair. Well, I should prioritize figuring out my newsletter. And then once I figure out my newsletter, I might have something to announce there.
Ooh.
Other than the
Secret.
Storytellers Hearth Weekend Relay, um, definitely go down, check that out. We did the announcement stream. It's going to be the last weekend of October. This will be Jess's last story weekend relay as a co-organizer. It is in the future going to be run by me and Sarah. So it makes some of us.
I'm quick to the
I have
draw. What can I say?
a Discord where I attempt to check in on everybody at least once a day.
Yeah?
Trying
Yeah?
to sweet talk people in there to play Clue with me.
Yeah, we'll
I
we'll see about figuring out the
love
shenanigans.
Clue. I saw that the Clue game was on sale for $5, and I bought it on both the Switch and Steam. And I adore Clue. I can play it like by myself with a bunch of computers, or I can play against random people online. And let me tell you, I got that game down bad. Although I did lose my last game against the computers because I kept fucking up and like I figured out the answer, but I kept saying end turn instead of final guess, and I was like, son of a bitch, wrong button. Yeah, she's just giving us the reins. She for like go watch the announcement video for her exact words, but I'm gonna paraphrase as best I can in that it's just too much for her anxiety. Like it's not really chat or anybody's fault per se. She herself just it's too much stress and it has negatively affected her health and she hasn't been able to have fun with it in a really long time. She said she's putting up a video that's gonna go into detail about all of it. That's supposed to go live after the Storytellers Hearth, but the October. So yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah, I was going to say with that, I heard my husband coming, bringing me my dinner. Here we go. Hey, you want to count us down, Tina?
Sure. 3, 2, 1, go.
And we're back. I'm going to our banners. How did everybody do and what did they work on? Jessica said, y'all, I swear I'm about to build a box to go over my surge protector because this dang cat is refusing to leave it the hell alone. I feel that. I had to put my footrest in front of it and shrink my chair as low as it would go just to get him away from it, and he's still laying on the footrest in defiance. Oh, sorry. Hey, Kelly. Welcome. Tina, you're muted.
How dare
Jessica's also got about a half a page written. Nice. I ate my dinner, and then I worked a little bit on organizing my Milo note.
Nice. I read the book I've been reading and made all sorts of facial expressions the entire time. Um, and also pestered Boo a little bit, and now he is laying like a distance away from me because he's hoping that because I'm streaming he'll get more treats and attention. But he also hates that I'm giving him attention and not treats. So I'm getting sulky in a mood Boo at the moment. Although he was in a mood at the beginning of the stream when I tried to just give him treats. He's just been you having a moody day? Eh? He does that sometimes. We're just like occasionally, he is just in a mood rather than being his usual like cuddle bunny self. It's cute. They got such personalities. But yeah, yeah, I'm reading my book. It's very good. I was sending Sam screenshots. But
The author's bathtub note is
yeah.
possibly one of the most relatable notes ever.
Okay, I feel like I should,
I've
for
sent,
for the sake of
I've
chat,
sent
I'll
you
explain.
I've sent you screenshot, like I'll be reading a webtoon, and I'm like, Tina, look at this bathroom.
Yeah. So I'm reading a series from an author I've mentioned so many times on stream. Well, I've mentioned their current contemporary series, Boyfriend Material and Husband Material. I think the series is actually called London Calling, if I remember correctly, by Alexis Hall. The thing is that when I started following them on Instagram because I wanted to know like when the next books were coming out in that series specifically, um, it was a thing of they were posting a bunch of stuff about like there was uh like matching covers, but I couldn't quite tell what the first book was, and like the plot, like the summaries just seemed kind of like non-related, and so I was like, what is these books? What is going on here? And eventually, from seeing more and more of their posts, I puzzled out that it's their, I want to say no, I think it is actually their first because yeah, it's their like they're doing a repackage of their first contemporary book series. Um, I believe it's four books. No, question mark, question mark. I don't actually know how many it is, and I know there's some that are still coming out, but it started all the way back in 2013. Um, and it was a thing of I figured out what the first one was from like Date Order and was like, yeah, I'll start reading it. After my adventures with the gay vampire romance, we went to gay contemporary romance. Um, and the first book, it was good. I loved the characters. Very heavy. Like, there's a list of triggers in the beginning, and it's one of those things where, like, I don't know if other people have this with trigger warnings, but, like, I'll read trigger warnings and be like, okay, I'm cool with that if it's just, like, a little bit, because usually it'll be just, like, a little mention of the thing, but they put the trigger warning to be respectful, and I'm like, okay, cool. That was not this.
I
They were
was
like...
I was about to say, I don't depend. Like for the most
It
part,
depends on the thing, I think.
for me, if there's only a mention, it'll be like such and such mentions. Otherwise, I expect it. Like I expect the worst, and then I'm never surprised. But
See,
yeah, because normally the way at least triggers for like that I'm used to in novels and fan fiction and stuff, it's like it'll be like child death mentions or and then I assume that they're only going to talk about it, or it'll just be like child death, and I'm like, oh, somebody's gay gonna die. So
Yeah,
that's where my go.
I think with it being like a contemporary like rom-com, hello, with it being like a gay
Oh yeah,
contemporary
no,
rom-com,
with
I was
rom
not
coms.
expecting. See, that's the thing. It's a gay contemporary rom-com. So when I saw like, there was some stuff that was mentioned, and then there's some, and oh, it was specified that the stuff had already occurred in the past, was the thing.
No, no,
And
I'm
so I was
saying
like, oh, this is gonna. I'm just adding extra detail, because I know what you mean. Especially, yeah, like it really depends on the context, and it depends on the trigger too, because I feel like some things authors are more likely to go intense with than others, when it comes to darker stuff, right? Um, and yeah, so I was like, rom-com says stuff that happens in the past, cool, won't affect me, and mental health wise, it was okay for me, just to put it out there. I didn't like, get into something that I couldn't handle. But it was like, there was especially a moment, it was just like a throwaway line in the end where I went, just of like the intensity of what had happened in the story. But still, it's just, this author just Alexis Hall is so fucking good at writing just amazing chemistry and also doing a thing because also part of the repackage of these books is that the author annotates them, so you get
mhm.
like their own like commentary on books that they did 10 years ago, which is so interesting. Like the forewords are really interesting to read of like their sort of complicated relationship with their old work, you know? Um, and and yeah, because they're not quite self-deprecating, and they have moments where they're like, "Past me did a great job," But and it's lovely to see, especially as someone who like feels sort of in that boat too, where I'm like not at the point anymore where like. I look at my old work and I'm like, no, I can't, but still, I'm not like, intensely in love with it. But anyway, so first book, Glitterland is the name. It's great, but take those trigger warnings as like as intense as you think they could be, because they're intense. And then the next book, what was it? Okay, the next book is technically two books that they compiled into one volume, but it's very interesting because they have where the the two separate stories have each main character, the two main characters, were dating for 10 years before, and then broke up, and then their individual stories start. But, like, they had been together for so long, and, like, in such, like, their individual worlds are one orbit, sort of thing.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
and it's so interesting because one of them dumps the other, and we get the perspective of the dumpee first. And the thing is that they had bought a house together, and the dumpee sort of paid the one who did the dumping off in order to keep the house, and
yeah,
is now going through the emotional turmoil of like, making it from our house to his house,
yeah.
and just beautifully written. But then the next book is from the dumper's perspective.
Mhm.
And the thing is, too, is that I started reading, and the second they revealed who the next character, like main character, was going to be, I was like, ah, man, because this author, another thing they do so brilliantly is take characters who are not well, I wanted to say not outright evil, but like they are characters who, like, on the surface are, sort of meant to be unsympathetic, Are not, like, you're
Mhm.
not meant to fall in love with them instantly because they have various flaws, right? And then
Yes.
the story is like, not only will I like the author's like, not only will I slowly make you fall in love with them, but I'm also going to make them slowly fall in love with themselves and earn self-love. And you're like, ah! It's so good. And like, I knew that was going to come, and I knew that was going to come with the one who did the dumping, and I was like, oh no. Oh no, because the thing is that with the dumpy, I was fully on his side, and like there was stuff about their relationship going wrong that was like intensely relatable to me on the dumpee's side, and so I was like, damn it, like they're gonna make me sympathetic to things that I don't want to be sympathetic to necessarily, and it just it was so good. And thankfully it didn't quite
I
touch on that for me, but it's just like, and it's also a thing too of like their interact, like they still sort of stay in each other's orbits, which make it
mhm.
so interesting. It's not that thing of like they break up and they're like, blocked, I don't know you anymore, I'm on my own journey. Like they're still so like wrapped up in each other, but not in a romantic way and not in a way that's like unhealthy or like damaging to the rest of the relationship. Well, they figure it out over the sorry, but yeah, really interesting.
It reminds me of Sherilyn Kenyon and her series, uh, all the Dark Hunter series, and like because she shows it's like it's an ancient war and shit that's been going on for millennia, and so there's like there's enemies, there's rivals, there's and so like you'll get things from one side's perspective, and then a couple books down the line you'll get things from like the other side of the battlefield's perspective. And it's one of my favorite quotes from that series is from her character Styx, and it's just because you had it bad doesn't mean I had it good. And that's sort of like a bit of the basis of like everything. And it's kind of funny, like because the first, I want to say 3-4 books are all from Greek character POVs or characters who have sided with like ancient Greek warriors, and then book 5 is from a Roman general's POV,
That's good.
and it's like, if I remember, it's either Valerius. No, not Valerius. I forgot the Roman's name, but either the general is responsible for killing one of the Greeks' grandfathers, or vice versa. But
Mm.
either way, there's some intimate bad blood there. But yeah, he's the pro tag of that book, so then you like get to see things from his perspective and stuff, and it just keeps doing that for like 20 some books. And I really enjoy and love authors who do that with like their worlds and universes. I want to say it's pretty common in contemporary romance series where they build up their world, so each book is from different people's perspectives. But
Oh yeah, like this series has where all of the main characters, I believe, yeah, all of the main characters went to university together. But
mm-hmm.
it's a thing of like it's very subtly dropped. Like I just picked up that in the one I'm currently reading that the main character previously went to school, and I'm like, wait a second, wait a second, because there was no indication otherwise that this one was connected yet. Although I'm like, I want to say like 15% in, and so I'm like, especially because, oh my goodness, I forgot to mention, in the first book, the main character is sort of accidentally, unwittingly in a love triangle with 2 other characters who have they kind of have drama occurring in the background of the first book, but because the main character, like, isn't, he's going through his own stuff, as I mentioned before, heavy, intense triggers. And so it's a thing of he's like, oh yeah, like, oh, he's like, oh yeah, like, one of my friends and one of my friends I've dated made out during, it's like, he's got a friend Max, he's got a friend Niall, and Max and Niall made out at Max's bachelor party, where he is like later to getting married to a woman, like completely. But the thing is that the I can't remember the I think her name is Anne. She is totally like open relationship, like non-monog, a-okay, but Max is the one who's like, I want to, and she's like, that's cool. And so that whole drama is occurring in the background of like the romance, and it gets resolved. Like basically, I think Anne just makes a comment being like, oh yeah, me and Max like talked it out, we're good. And you're like, huh, okay. And it's a thing too of like the main character is like, you know, Max is a friend, like, in name, but, like, the main character's convinced that Max is, too, like, too cool for him, because Max has, like, had a pretty successful time, and, like, the main character has kind of not, or at least, like, doesn't feel, like, he basically doesn't feel like he's worthy of Max's friendship. But then towards the end, like, one of his, like, little things of, like, him getting better is that he goes out for coffee with Max, and you're like, yes! But then he has a thing with Niall, the one who made out with Max. Niall and the main character previously dated, and their relationship is messy, and they are very like codependent on each other. And so part of the whole thing with Glitterland's like arc is the main character like separating like a good amount from Niall. But then there's a little extra story in the back that reveals that like Niall is messy as fuck with Max. Like it's basically the scene of that making out at the bachelor party, and it like revealed a whole bunch of stuff of like, what are you two do? Oh goodness, that like the main character was just not privy to. And then it's a thing of I found out like looking at all the books in the series that there's one that hasn't come out yet that's going to be from Niall's perspective, and I'm like, hell yes. Because like oh man, like his whole thing is that like he just the drama. Oh, it's so messy. Oh my god, I'm trying to figure out a way to quickly phrase it. Cuz like so Niall is the one who like Niall is like desperately in love with Max, right? And the thing is that he basically tells Max in order to try to win him over on his bachelor night. He like first of all he makes some biphobic comments about the fact that Max is going to marry a woman, which we're like boo, 0 out of 10. But he also says that he basically only dated the main character because the main character was going through a hard time. Like it's not clear. Like I don't think the main character ever actually explains like how their relationship like started really, because as I said, main character was going through a hard time. A lot of things are foggy. But it seems to be that like the main character maybe made a move on Niall, and that's how their relationship started. But Niall's basically like in confessing to Max is like, oh, like he didn't really mean that to me. I was just dating him to make sure that he like was in a good spot, right? Which like yeah, see, and Max is like explains that actually he like for the longest time had a crush on the main character, but like the line he says, it's really sweet. He basically says like but the main character needed a friend more. So like he never admitted his feelings. And the thing is that the main character does not seem to be interested in Max romantically at all. So it would not have worked out for Max if he had tried to pursue him. But I was like, that's so nice. Like, but yeah, no. And it's a thing of like, they have this conversation and then Niall just like goes for the kiss and Max doesn't back up. He moves into it and you're like, because the thing is that like throughout, like Max is kind of portrayed as sort of like the mom friend. And it very much seems like he just does not have boundaries with Niall. And so I'm like, just, oh man, it's so messy. And it's going to be so good to like, I'm like, it must be that the next book is going to go from there, right? Because otherwise, the first book and the little extra story basically explained Niall's like entire relationship history up until that point. And I'm like, it's going to be, because I'm like, damn, like that extra scene also reveals a lot of stuff that like, I don't think, Max's now wife knows, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, 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 the mess. Um,
He should have told her. But then it wouldn't be
I'm like,
messy, and then it wouldn't be entertainment.
because yeah, that's the thing. We also don't have the conversation that Max had with Anne. Like, Anne tells the main character about it in the first book, but like she doesn't get into specifics because her and the main character are not that close. But I love drama, especially in books, especially messy romantic drama in books like this, where it's like so like interconnected. Um, like both of these books have made me like itch for like writing like multi POVs like that, which is funny
Mm-hmm.
because I do. There are some things actually that I've like read in the series where I'm like, oh, I would love to write this, and I'm like, wait a second, it's already in One Mystery Treat. But and there's like, yeah, there is some like fun stuff with POV in One Mystery Treat, but I would love to do like that concept of the second book I mentioned, where it's like two characters who have broken up as
Yeah.
the POV characters, like separately. I'm like, ooh, that's such a good one. But yeah, and I'm like, this messy ass triangle is also so good. Like, um, yeah, I'm like, because yeah, if I remember correctly, it says that the next book is going to be from Niall's perspective, but I'm like, will we ever get a story from Max's perspective? That would be interesting because even the short story is from Niall's perspective. And I'm like, the mess, the drama. um, and I'm like, yeah, it's going to be interesting too because as I mentioned, this author loves to take a character that's unsympathetic and make it so that they, you're won over by them in the end. Even, with like, because it's not a thing of like the author doesn't try to like make it so that the messed up stuff they've done isn't still messed up, and even
Oh
like
no, of course not.
having where like even like certain character flaws will maintain like
Mhm.
in the one where it's the dual POV with the breakup, the one who did the dumping, he is so fucking rude and just like very much um
Tina,
like
you're talking to an I can fix him girl. I
yeah.
understand you
But like
completely.
he flings insults like it's nothing, and he does that
Mhm.
throughout. Like it's never like a character flaw that he gets over. The most he gets over is that like with his ex, they are very pointed and very personal insults to the point where you're like, over nothing. And yeah, it's just the thing of he lessens up with it, and but still is such a a sour mouth, and it's like it's interesting because like yeah, like you end up won over by these characters who aren't these like redeemed to be these perfect angels, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. I'm having a good time. And the third one, which is the one I'm currently reading, is very spicy, which is fun because the other books are like I'm trying to remember if the first book was Fade to Black or not. They're like right on the edge of Fade to Black. Like it's not like a complete cut, but like it's not like is it? Actually, they might be spicier than that. I don't. I don't really. I'm not reading for the spice, so like. But
Let me
this
tell
one,
you, I read a trilogy that had exactly, I think, one really spicy scene, and my husband happened to walk in during that one scene, and I'm like, I've gone through 3 books with no sex scenes. You exist, and here they are.
yeah, I had where I started reading this one on the subway, and I like, as I was reading it, I was like, this is in fact too spicy for public. Time to close it and
Bella's drawing while listening and zones out every so often and comes back in with something crazy said. I'm definitely going to need 3 washes later.
you definitely need to replay me talking about the triangle of drama because just it's so good and it's so well done and like it's a thing too of like it's all like it feels realistic enough that like especially with the drama of it all like you do feel like it's like a friend telling you about their friend's drama, you know,
Yeah.
which is I love like just so good.
Alright, well, we're gonna go into sprint 2. I will count us
Yes.
down. 3, 2, 1, go. I'll say the way I say that reminds me of how I play with my nieces and now I miss them.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
We're back in the living room.
Woo!
Did you miss my adorable couch?
I did. And your bookshelves. I'm glad to be reunited with them.
Yeah. Especially considering there's a book here that actually came from your house. Because
yes.
it's the one I ordered because they had where the author was signing books in a New York bookshop, and I was like, New York's like a day's drive from me. It's not that far. The shipping won't be bad. And then it was a thing of like in the US it was going to be $5 shipping, and then here it would have been to Tennessee with to Sam, who is significantly farther away from New York than I am. And then it was like, I think it was like going to be like $30 shipping for me. And the book only costs like $20 something.
That customs.
And I was like, but this was like it was at least a couple months before the
writing
retreat. And so I just messaged Sam and was like, can I send this book to your house and then pick it up while I'm there? And I ended up also buying a physical copy of Zachary Ying for you guys and the kiddos, because I'm a good aunt.
Right here.
Yeah. But yeah, I continue to read my book during that sprint. It continues to be so good. Oh man, like the chemistry in this author's books is always good, but in this one, it's freaking electric. Probably because it's on the spicier side. But just chef's kiss. I think also too because because the setup is spicier, it has where we just go right. Well, actually, the first book had. I think there's an electricity to the chemistry when when the couple is already past third base, in the span of them meeting, right? Like that first, like a one night stand sort of deal. It just sets their chemistry on fire.
Jessica switched to editing for that sprint and got 3 pages noted. Physical markings for a rewrite. Nice. I'm glad you're enjoying your spicy electric chemistry book.
I'm having a good time. The trouble is that I don't have classes tomorrow. Tuesday is Tina's no class day, which is
Tina
great for
Tuesday.
Streams. Yeah, Tina Tuesday, which is great for streams because I don't have to worry about staying up too late. But I'm like,
we may end early or very on time because my streams not end at my current bedtime, so I might be getting sleepy soon.
Oh, how the turntables.
Yes, the turntabled. I don't like it.
But I was gonna say the downfall of this is that it is very tempting to stay up until presumably 4 o'clock in the morning to finish this book.
My husband was I can't think. I want to say bemoaning, but that's too strong a word. He was observing that I've gotten on this sleep schedule that I'm currently on just in time for him to switch to nights. Because currently we sleep at the same time. And I'm like, don't worry, it'll be a lot easier to change my sleep schedule later. So.
Yeah.
But I still have to get up in the morning because sometimes I suspect my children stay up later than they're supposed to, so they may sleep through their alarm some days. Not most days, but every now and then. They've gotten really good at getting up, getting ready, and getting on the bus without Any assistance from me. My youngest, at least, will still come in my room and let me know she's going outside of her own volition. I have to yell at the other two to tell me when they're leaving.
Oh.
They're like, we're middle schoolers now, Mom. We don't need to say goodbye. And I'm like, just fuck you, don't. I can't read in the evenings because I have very little capability to force myself to put a book down to go to bed at a decent time. I mean, that's there.
Yeah, my trick is I can't start reading a book in the evening is the problem. Like if I start reading a book like late at night, to go to bed, then I will just have where like I'll just like, especially now that I've gotten older, that like window between like you've started reading something to go to sleep and then you're like dead tired is like much smaller for me now. So like I'll start reading and then like 5-10 minutes later I'm like out and put the book down.
It depends for me. I have this window of when I'm tired, and if I accidentally push through that window of when I'm tired, I am no longer tired. It'll take me like several more hours before I can get tired again. So I have to be very careful. If I like start feeling my eyes get heavy, that's when I'm like, okay, I can go to bed now, and I have to put it down. And but if I ignore that my eyes are heavy and keep reading, it just like get like refreshes. And I'm like, and then I can't fall asleep.
That used to be an issue for me, but I wonder if part of the reason it's not is that around the time that started to not be an issue was the time that I started to read on my e-reader at night rather than on my phone. And I wonder if it's the lighting of the e-ink is not as strong as the phone screen one. But yeah, I'm now like my two modes are either I like start reading and I fall asleep like 5 to 10 minutes afterwards if the intent is to read to go to sleep, or I have where I'm like lying in bed flip flopping because I'm anxious and I can't sleep, which is when I go to solution one and start reading to fall asleep. But yeah, no, it's yeah.
RP said if I like a book and it excites me, cracking a book open when I'm tired will wake me up and then I can't go to sleep anymore. That's what it is.
My body is like, no, that doesn't happen to you anymore. Like now that I've hit 30, it's like, nah. Like I used to have that, but now it just overrides.
See, that's what
like I can't keep my
that's
eyes
what my
open
problem
anymore.
is. And then even if I like put my phone and everything away, and like for the record, I'm not just talking about reading on the phone. I'm talking about like reading my physical books too. And so if I don't take that window of when my eyes are tired, then I'll like lay there and I'll be like, okay, I read that, and like I feel awake, and then I just lay there, and I can lay there with my eyes closed and I'll still be awake an hour or so later. And so I don't even try anymore. I'm just like, well, I give myself like a half hour, and if I'm not asleep after that, I just start reading again.
Yeah. I mean, they do say that like you're not supposed to stay like tossing and turning for too long because your brain will start to associate like being in bed with just tossing and turning rather than sleeping. But and yeah, so there's the counterintuitive thing of you're supposed to actually get out of bed and then reset and go back in. But yeah, no, I don't think it's a thing of exclusively my e-reader. I think there's other factors that, played into it. But the timing was quite
interesting.
In line with it.
RP said, I mean, I haven't had the time to read for fun in a while, so maybe I need to try it again and see if I actually fall asleep now.
Sleeping? Why not?
There's a lot of studies and stuff done with like sleep routines and how electronics mess with brains and eyes and stuff that could be good to look into for anybody interested. I've what's the word I'm looking for? I played trial and error with my sleep routines. If I'm really struggle busting to sleep, I'll put on a playlist and fall asleep that way. Especially if my head is pounding. Because I can't silence hurts my ears.
Interesting.
So it's hard for me to sleep if it's silent. And I don't like white noise. I like ambience, but I don't like white noise.
I am kind of not quite the opposite. I need like as close to silent as I can get, um, to sleep. Although it is a thing of the bunnies kind of provide ambient noise, especially because I feed them right before bed. So occasionally I'll have where like they haven't finished eating all their veggies as I'm sleeping. So I'm laying my head on the pillow and I can just hear them going crunch, 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 and it's very sweet.
I recently, because I wanted to start reading, physical books again, and but with my migraines, and I was trying to figure out how to be able to read while my head hurt. Hold on. I must say goodnight to my husband. I drank some of it. But so I was like, okay, I need ambient noise because I need some sort of sound for my brain to process so I can focus on the words. But I was like, I don't know what kind of ambience I want, and I'm not typing in ASMR because I hate how most ASMR sounds. It just itches my brain. So I typed in witchy ambiance, and then I discovered that if you do that, you get all these different witch cabin options. And so I'll listen to a cauldron bubbling over the stove while it rains outside, which I absolutely love that one. My dog did not particularly enjoy it the first time though, because she was like, "Why is it thunder? Why is there mother? There's no rain outside. What is going on?" But she ignores it now. If anything, it knocks the dogs the fuck out now. They're just if they're bugging me, I'll just put it on so that they calm their asses down. But yeah, there's this one where it's got it's a witch's cabin and there's a haunted graveyard and stuff out by it, and there's this noise every now and then, and it's kind of funny because it's supposed to be I think a ghost crying, but it just sounds like a heavy wind. And so every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, is the wind going?
No.
But no, it's supposed to be a ghost. So I've been enjoying those while I read physical books and stuff. I've fallen asleep on cold, hard dirt with jets and helicopters landing / taking off nearby, so I learned to sleep anywhere with anything going on if I'm actually tired. See, I can conk out just about anywhere, as long as it's not quiet. I love my ambient so much that I not only have a playlist for it, but I also have a game called Spirit City for it. What is Spirit City? I would highly recommend. Is that 8D? I'm sorry.
8D.
My millennial brain is only translating it as excited face audio, and I'm like, I highly doubt it's excited face audio. It's really good when I work, especially with headphones, because the sound will pass through the two headphones. Not sure if it'll help, but I found it this week. No, if I'm working, I need lyrics.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm odd in this way that if it's a song I've already heard of before, which I one time had where I was at a speed dating event and this came up in a group of people after the event. They like turned to me and was like, "Do you do this?" And I was like, "Yes." And then they turned to the one person that had said yes was like, "Ha ha." But and everyone else was like, "How?" But like, if it's a song I've heard before, I can listen to it in the background and my brain will just tune it out. So like even when I'm reading, I will throw on playlists of like from my music. And yeah, I'm fully fine with lyrics as long
I
as
do that, but I can't do that if it's a migraine, because if it's a migraine, I will focus on the lyrics and not what I'm reading.
yeah, no,
But
lyrics
like,
gone.
but if
Music
I'm working
gone.
or anything else, then no. See, because that's what was throwing me off. Because like I was like, okay, so I'll just put music on, but then like I couldn't focus on the actual word. Like I was struggle busting to focus on what I was reading on. So that's why I had to go with the ambiance, because I can't do instrumental either. Because if it's instrumental,
Yeah.
then my brain will start focusing on the like the bass and all that. My brain will just like pick it apart, but the ambient noise is like, because it's just kind of like, the sound of the house and things going on. So I guess that's why it works for me when I have a migraine and I'm trying to read. Because migraine and brain fog makes everything not work right. Lo-fi sessions is like a productivity game. It has little pets you can. Oh, I like collecting pets. You can personalize the ambiance, the room, your character, and even choose various things you're doing. You might have me at collecting pets. It also has things like checklists and timers and journals and such. It's very helpful for me.
That sounds very sweet.
I might check that out.
Yeah.
I like gamifying my life. I started doing Pikmin again out on my walks. So
Oh, nice. I haven't done it in ages, but now that it just occurred to me that if I did start doing it again, I would get a bunch of new Pikmin because my school is in a different area of the city. Tempting, tempting, tempting. There are there are entire Pikmin categories that I might get now. Tempting, tempting, tempting. I can't
I'm
remember.
doing it
Something
very
about it.
chill.
I think I just got like with the like special event Pikmin because it
Yeah.
was like functionally impossible to collect them all. I was like, eh.
Yeah, that's what got me for a bit. But then now I'm just like this. I'm doing it for like health things. So I'm like, I'll just get the ones that I can get, and if I can't get any, then I can't.
Yeah.
My character is currently sitting in a pan stand with a galaxy kitty riding by a fireplace with a nice storm and sea sounds in the back. That's
I
so
think I've
cute.
seen a Papsan before on. Yeah. I saw this one. I'm not sure if all of them do it. I think the idea of a Papsan chair is that it does do this, where like it's basically a bowl on a stand, so it swivels, and like you can like bend it to your like angle it to your needs, whether you want it more like upright or like more like you're laying in a bowl. But I saw one on Instagram, which I'm seeing them now that I've googled it, that are like rather than like the circle shape, they're more like couch shaped. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh God, on the one hand, I would love to have one. It would be so nice and comfy. On the other hand, I would never leave. I would live in that thing. Like, I can't do that to myself. Like, this one's already bad enough. The only reason that this one doesn't intrude on my productivity is that it's very hard to accidentally fall asleep in it because it's not big enough. I have done it several times and regretted it every time.
A mama say.
Yeah. If you look up Papa said on Google, like some of the first ones that come up are the like bigger version because I think they got trendy. But yeah, no, I do have specific dreams of like my dream future couch, which reminds me actually because we touched on this when I was talking about the book series I'm currently reading. But I explained basically everything else other than the fact that like of one of the things I sent Sam. But as I mentioned, the versions I'm reading are annotated by the author. And in the book I'm currently reading, there was a scene with a very fancy bathtub. And it's one of those ones where it's like they have, where it's like the little, like it's made of marble and it has like the step, and then and it's like the whole thing. We had something actually pretty similar in the writing retreat, but I lived in that thing. Um, but it's a thing of, in the author's note on that part, they basically are like, like a younger me would have focused on how intimate the scene is, but now that I'm older, all I can think about is how lovely that bathtub is. And it's like, yeah. Um, that's a thing that I'm like, have I really done that in
I need everyone
comics?
to know that I am almost to tears because of this picture. That's it. Because
Wait,
my
how many
emotion
people did?
is a mom and two kiddos.
Oh.
But I looked at it and I had two tears fall down my eyes. I just need you all to know that's how my emotions are right now.
I mean, I would have thought you were just getting emotional over the lovely, like, bath that I, like, very hastily described.
That's my next evolution, Tina. Next time I evolve, I'm just going to cry over really good bath.
I mean,
I'm
especially
still
you
not
own
going to
them.
cry
Reason
over
to cry.
I'm still not going to cry over character deaths or anything like that, but bathtubs,
Oh my god.
bathtubs are going to make me sob.
I'm not going to say what it is because this would be a spoiler for it, but there was a media I was consuming recently where a big fight happens that like very much impacts a character, but more so impacts the like house they live in, which like, okay, it was a visual media, adorably decorated, and I was messaging a friend about it, and I was like, honestly, a good chunk of my distraughtness over the scene was not the main character being like horribly injured, but the fact that the house got ruined.
I'm always
And
so
she was like,
upset.
you heartless, and I was like, it's a cute house, leave me alone.
Whenever like fights and stuff break out and houses start to like break and shit, I'm all like,
It
who's
depends.
gonna pay for that?
It depends, because that's also a factor, but
Our
it's also
piece
like how much I
oh,
like the house and want to live in it. Oh,
that's fair. RP said, I hate sitting in couches or chairs that intentionally super comfy that you can lean back in. Like I sit down and then I don't want to get up.
see,
And then I'm not productive at all. How did you two react to the house in Encanto?
I honestly didn't care. Like, I barely remember the house other than the fact that Bruno was living in the walls. I love that aesthetic of like the Spanish style, like with the bright colors and everything. But like, honestly, the design itself didn't really stand out to me. Maybe because I had heard so much
I
stuff
think
about
she
it.
I
But
think I think she means the house as a character.
see, I'm justifying why I didn't
Oh.
I didn't care because I didn't like it didn't something that maybe it was because we watched Coco and Encanto back to back. um, but yeah, no, like it didn't.
I
The
cared.
part that
I
got me
cared
emotional.
deeply.
The part that got me emotional was the backstory of like how the family like got to the area. Like that was like the part, but the actual house.
When the
I guess
house when the house was desperately trying to save all of the children as it was falling apart, I was like, the house is sacrificing itself. But I was also one of the people who, when I watched it, I interpreted the house as being the grandfather. So
oh yeah, I never. But
so I was all like, no, puppy. I didn't cry though.
yes,
Listen, all
because
Tina
also.
the weirdo lives in the walls. Okay, people, that's fine.
Because
I'm
also,
not
if I
saying
remember
she
correctly,
has
Bruno
to.
was one of the older siblings.
I'm not saying she has to. I was just explaining why I did. So
Yeah, and I was explaining. Yeah, no, yeah. I honestly, I'm like, I don't like, even the scene you're describing, I'm like, I fully don't remember. All I remember is that Bruno was living in the house. Like the scenes that hit me emotionally apparently were Bruno in the walls and the like, because even like describing the like, how the family like ends up in it, like my brain starts flashing like stills in my head
mhm.
of like what happened, but not the house itself. Yeah. I'm trying to think because there was one that I think honestly, like the house in Coco, I remember so clearly because I think part of it too is that it's not similar in layout to my dad's house, but it's similar in vibes. You know what I mean?
I
Because
suppose
like
I don't remember much about the house in Coco. They
it's
don't
very
spend a lot of
like
time there that I can
it's
remember.
very like small but not like cramped, but then
Yeah.
also like we have where like you can tell my dad's townhouse doesn't have much space because we have a little like setup of like memorial ceremonial things to our like family members who have passed on top of the fridge because it's the only spot that's like extra space, but like the scene where like they show like the sort of altar thing in the house very much like
Yeah.
reminded me of that little spot above the fridge. um and so yeah, I'm like just stuff like that where like yeah
The Ferenda.
yeah I don't but I actually don't know what our name is for it. I'll have to ask my dad. But yeah, no, because I do really love like there's so many like well, I'm not even especially animated movies, but like there's so many like so much media out there that like hits because it takes advantage of environment design, right? Um and just yeah, for some reason I think it might also be that like I didn't watch Encanto like when I watched Encanto, it had already been out for a while, so there was a lot of hype around a bunch of stuff, and I think like I had seen stuff about like the house, and I just didn't. I don't know. But I'm trying to
Media
think of
hype
other.
and stuff like that. It's all non-factors when I go into things. So
I think it's just that like it wasn't a surprise to me that like the house would be something I would care for. So like it just didn't, you know,
I
like
didn't think it was supposed to be a surprise.
I think if it had been a surprise to me, I maybe would have cared more about it, of being like, oh, I am happily surprised by the fact that I actually, this house is actually a character. Um,
I suppose.
Maybe. It's all hypothetical. I don't know if that actually would have affected my
Yeah.
opinion or not, but um, I'm trying to think of other really good environments in the. Because yeah, now I'm still thinking about that one that I don't want to spoil.
I mean, I
I'm
liked
like,
Encanto and Coco, and I like,
oh yeah,
and
I did.
because I related to a lot of the family issues. Well, the family dynamics and connections, not
See,
necessarily issues per se, but yes.
yeah, this is why I remember Bruno in the Wall so vividly.
Bruh, like,
I think, but
oh,
I think
what's
because
the
also I didn't
song?
expect that. Like I knew, like I already knew about Bruno, but I did not expect that to be where he was.
We'll
Um,
talk about
like
it.
um,
Fuck, what's that song? Fucking every, like, that song got
oh, the
so,
one with the girl with the and she has a song.
yeah. Yeah, that song,
Yeah.
my friend and I, we were both like, at first, yes, surface pressure. Thank you, Jessica. At first, my
Brilliant.
friend
Thank
and
you
I,
for guessing
we
my
didn't realize
charades.
she was the middle sister because we were like, that's such an oldest sibling song. Like,
It
and
really
then
is.
it turned, Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote it thinking about his older sister.
That makes sense.
So
Yeah, I
I was
think
like,
just
oh, okay.
like
Okay, it's all explained now.
yeah, I think there was
Kind
just
of.
like so many like moments like more so with the human characters that really like uh
Yeah.
for me that like the house and but But yeah, I'm trying to think of. Now I'm really stuck on this question of like other environments that have like, really affected a story for me in a positive way. Can you think of any that like? It's definitely one of those ones where I'm going to be late, like just about to go to sleep. I'll have read my book. I will be like half awake. Sleep would be just about to hit me, and I'll like wake up at the start and be like, "This movie."
Not environment per se, but I recently read The Bone Houses, and I went into the Bone Houses knowing absolutely nothing about the Bone Houses, and then I felt so dumb when I realized what the Bone Houses were. They were skeletons.
Oh.
The book is even a skull, and if you actually like, the cover is a skull, and if you look at the cover, the skull is like made out of skeletons. So I'm like, why did I not take 2 seconds to think what the Bone Houses could be? I'm sitting here like, well, this promises to be sort of creepy. It wasn't really. It was it's based like, after I read some of the lore, I realized very quickly that it's actually based off of the same myth, Welsh myth that Disney's Black Cauldron is based off of, and which is basically about an iron cauldron that can bring people back from the dead. And I was like, I was then very hyped because, one, I don't find a lot of books based on Welsh mythology that don't have to do with King Arthur. So whenever I find a book that has absolutely nothing to do with King Arthur, but like is very much in that Welsh Celtic area, I'm like, fuck yeah. You know it's gonna be good because don't nobody know about any of this shit. So if they're writing about it, they actually know their shit, And it was so good. Oh, I highly recommend it. And it's a standalone, and it's great. The Bone Houses. What could these be made of? Look,
I honestly thought you were gonna say like mausoleums.
That was
like, so I would have been the same
mausoleum. I'm sitting here thinking I'm about to read some sort of Gothic Gideon the Ninth style thing, right?
That also makes sense.
But no, I was very pleasantly surprised. Like I said, I just felt so silly because I didn't even think about the fact that it could be that. But I was like, oh yeah, and so I was so pleased, and it's so good, and it's got a romance I didn't expect. I also did not expect to fall in love with a dead goat. But damn, do I love that goat. That goat was the MVP.
I mean, goats are just so precious, so special. I love them so much.
I also apologize. That's a little bit of a spoiler. The goat starts out alive.
Oh, I thought you would clarify because you were like, the goat starts off dead.
No, the goat starts out alive, and then it died. But it died in a way that I was like, oh man, that fucking goat. And then like it comes back, and I'm like, oh. But then like that fucking goat, the whole novel is like one of the best characters. I'm like, I didn't expect to fall in love with this goat. I was about to say the goat had a name, but then I'm like, no, actually, they never did name the goat. They weren't allowed to name the goat in case they had to kill it during a bad winter. Yeah, Haikyou's courts for me from the person who doesn't like sports at all.
Related to this, The School and High School Musical. I rewatched them recently. Such fondness.
I wasn't sure where we were going with that. When you said related, I was like, are we going courts, sports, or goats?
I mean,
oh my god,
do I have any goat-related fiction or characters I like?
So the main character, this other character, and the goat are going on an adventure, right? And these two, the humans, have to climb up something. And they're like, oh no, are we going to have to leave the goat behind? And then the goat, the way it's described, the goat climbs up the wall like a mountain goat would climb up a wall. And they're like, Right. It's a goat. I love these two. They're so dumb. But they were like so concerned. They were like, "Are we gonna have to leave goat behind?" The mountain goat's like, bitches, I defy gravity. Okay.
They freaking do. I have seen the ones that
And this
climb
one
the
was
climb.
already dead,
Oh my God.
so like they didn't even have to worry about falling. It could just get back
I mean, you do already know my favorite urban legend about a goat, because it coincides with the tea I have sent you before. Yes, it is, but I feel like if I saw it as like an actual school and not as the set of High School Musical, I would be weirded out.
Goat conversation was not on my. Well,
I mean, but
farm animals though, because Matt and I have had some farm animal conversations.
I was not privy to these farm animal conversations. What were we conversing?
Don't remember.
What was the topic?
We were talking about like words for specific male and female animals, and then like we're like chicken. Chicken doesn't actually mean a female animal. Chicken is actually the gender neutral term for a hen or a rooster.
Interesting. I know it's a thing of. I'm gonna double check this.
So like, and then we went on a tangent about a bunch of different like things like that. So, someone should make Sam conversation bingo cards if that was merch.
I mean,
coming soon to our
cages.
Coming soon to Sam's store. Bingo cards, Jeopardy boards.
I mean,
a clue board. I can do a clue board.
You have a designer in your pocket. One of the ones I like is when like the names for like male and female of like one animal species is the names that we associate with another species. Like for bunnies, it's a female rabbit is a doe and a male is a buck. Which thinking about Boo as a buck, like if you put like a massive deer with the antlers and then Boo and are like those are both called the same thing. Isn't that funny? Honestly, he has more sass than one of those. He would probably he would try to fight it. He'd probably try to make friends with it, honestly.
Bucks can be pretty fucking sassy. These motherfuckers take out the side of your truck. I was about to say something and I forgot what it was. Except now I have doe, a deer, a female deer stuck in my head. All right. Do you want to count us down, Tina?
Yes, but before I count us down, during the sprint, if you guys want something to do, I guess, feel free to come up with spots that would be on this hypothetical Sam's book card, like bingo card. Because I'm open to suggestions other than siblings in cages. Oh, and
I'm not even the one that brings that up most of the time.
That doesn't.
I know, but I just feel the need to clarify that sometimes. That's not even on me. Like I'll completely forget that's a thing, and someone else will bring.
We will never let you forget.
Apparently not. I have no regrets on it. My siblings are on the same page with me. So, but RP said like cow. Cows are both female cattle and female moose.
I had no idea. I feel un-Canadian about this. How did I not know? How is an American telling me?
Your job.
Nationality crisis aside.
Your job during the sprint is to find out what a male moose is called, because I don't know that one.
I think they might actually be a bull. I think I knew that, actually. I think I knew that a male moose was a bull, but I didn't know that a female one was a cow. That was... I only knew about the moose patriarchy. I didn't know about moose feminism. We are
Count us down.
school
Tina's
Tina is like going all
educate herself on moose. Tina's got to educate herself on moose feminism.
I am back to school. I gotta
All right.
know.
So 3, 2, 1, go. And we're back.
We're back.
So Jessica said, woohoo, finished chapter 6, so now I can work on chapter 7 tomorrow, and then maybe 8 on my stream on Wednesday of progress. Awesome. I started reading, I have one more book to read for Year of Favorites Readathon, and then I will be totally caught up. And it's a book from May. So it's the Shapeshifters, but I guess the Shapeshifters in this universe are called sliders because like there's some interdimensional thing. I think they can like slide between dimensions. I don't know. This is still me like trying to figure it out. But every time I read the word sliders, I think of small burgers because that's what those are. And so yeah, it's like we got to test him to see if he's a slider, and I'm like, they're not testing him to see if he's a tiny burger. That's not what's going on.
I haven't had a slider in forever. They're so good.
One of my children really loves sliders.
I was technically productive during the stream. I made a Tina on stream specific bingo board, which is mostly just the stupid things that I do. But yeah, I did DM it to Sam and RP. I think I'll definitely post it to the Sam's realm, but
I shall read it when I have a moment. Kelly did 224 words. RP center of a Sam bingo card should be romance and fiction because it comes up in every stream, and that spot should be easy to do. It's like free square, but also not free square. What can I say? Yeah, there was a time, so when we did this Sam quiz, and one of the questions was what my favorite genre was, and my best friend got it wrong because he put horror. And I'm like, no, it's romance. And to this day, he gives me shit about it. CB calling herself old should also be a possibility. She's like, I'm telling you, migraines age you 50 years. I don't care what anybody says. I finished 2 of the 5 designs I want to get done today and tomorrow. Nice.
Yeah. Congrats.
I
didn't do anything productive, but I was productive at school all day, so you know, I got to goof off during the stream.
Can I share the Tina board on
stream? Yes. If we want to pull it up straight on screen, that would be great. That would be a lot of fun.
Then I can read it. And
I should have put one about how you usually don't share things I want to put on screen.
If you ask me to, I will, but I don't always share everything I'm sent. I don't always know that people want it to be shared. All right, Tina on stream bingo. If she's here, you know there's going to be Sam Raz's Tina, Canada mention, sprint delayed by Sam and Tina yapping. Is it delayed? I guess if I have the timer up, we can count that as delayed. Tina versus RP money rivalry. Tina Raz's Sam. Tina great soup debate. Siblings in cages. Reignites peanut butter debate.
I did do that once.
Tina laughs so hard she leans off screen.
I also do. I think I did that today, actually.
Joke about being gay. Gideon the 9th mention. Smoochie and security. Yes.
Bone houses.
Well. Free space. Boo appears. All hail Danica. Haven't
See,
had that in a while. Should.
if we had mentioned that one like outside of the bingo board, then we would have had a straight across.
You would.
Because you
TNS.
mentioned to Giddy the Ninth, and then I did my intro, and then the free space, and I had Boo on in the beginning, and now we just gotta figure out a way to naturally incorporate my like praise be Danica, and you'll have a stripe across.
Well, so it's kind of funny that you mentioned Danica, actually, because, all right, bear with me. We're going to go on a train ride. The Sam's thinking train. So Chris got me this thing for my birthday that I asked him to. It was, it's this reading romance challenge. And it's like got like it's either 25 or 30 little things tasks that you have to do that are related to like romance stuff, and then you get like this like little thing, like some of it's a bookmark. I just did one and got these like nameplates that are like from the library of. I am never going to use these 4 stickers because then they won't all match because there's only 4 of them and I have more than 4 books. Yeah. But my favorite one that I've gotten out so far is this romance mixtape keychain. It looks like a cassette and it's a romance mix, and I'm like, oh, cute. I know, it's adorable. So I'm like, they're not really expensive prizes, but it's the novelty of it that excites me, and I like doing that. Well, I was looking at a romance book that Chris had actually spotted at the library and thought I would like, because I was pretty sure there's an LGBTQ flag. I'm pretty sure it's the bisexual flag on the clipped to one of the main characters. And I'm like, oh, there's a LGBTQ romance spot in my thingy. And then like I looked on the back of the book, and it was like this author has earned an award from the Ripped Bodice for excellence in romance, and I'm like, I want to win an award from the Ripped Bodice and excellence. I
didn't know they gave them awards.
And I was so excited about that. And then I started thinking about other things that I wanted to achieve, and I was like, I would love to be published by Danica's publishing company.
Praise be Danica. See, we got it.
Yes. There we go. But like, because she has a hybrid company now, so.
Oh yeah.
And I want to work with them. And like, I was literally thinking about that like 3 hours before stream.
Oh.
Tina, you were productive before the last sprint. You added make bingo card to your to-do list and got it done.
Fake news. I did not add it to my to-do list. I said I have an idea, and then I did it. There was no pre-planning involved. We created on impulse.
By my count, we've gotten 10 squares on Tina's bingo card. Bingo. Okay, hold on. We got TNS actually talk about writing. We talked about reading a lot because writing depresses me right now. Although Tina did talk about working on one mystery treat, so I say we can get
that. Because there are moments where like I will specifically say like let's go back to actually talking about writing. So that's why that spot is there. But,
Tina, I feel you could just change this to host lip syncs during sprint because you, me, and CB all do that. And it would give the people.
I've never seen you guys do it. I have good luck, Babe Almond, and I'm like fully.
I have full on been called out for rocking. I've had people ask for my playlist because they want to know what I was jamming out to. Messy romance novel discussion, specifically messy ones. No non-messy ones.
I mean, I feel like when we do talk about romance plots, it is messy.
That does happen a whole lot.
I do make pasta on stream a lot.
Tina's dad texts or calls during stream. I should have a bingo square for my sister. Because she's got a sense for it. My sister and your dad. Costume change. I had to double check to make sure you were still wearing the same tank top. I was like, wait, did she change?
No,
Gabe,
specifically during like the Halloween and like ones where we've dressed up, I've done a couple of costume changes between sprints.
surprise, Tina.
A surprise
Grace
Tina.
mentioned, also fair.
Yep.
Tina forgets to unmute.
Yep. Oh, so many. You basically are guaranteed that square. Honestly, it's maybe a secondary free space.
I mean, to be fair, usually if you mute yourself, you remember to unmute. Generally, you forget to unmute when I'm the one that mutes you.
But see, today, during our second sprint, I muted
I know,
myself and
I
then
was
proceeded
just
to forget to
saying
unmute.
But alrighty, party peoples. I'm getting tired, so.
What a great way to wrap up. Count your scores.
Count your scores up. Tina's in
There's,
charge of whether or not you get a prize.
Your prize is you get added to the hit list.
The hit list? Your prize is that
You'll know what
Tina's
it is eventually. Once I have more than a couple people on the hit list, you'll know what the hit list is.
Y'all better hope it's like a free chibi. And not that you're gonna get murdered. Which, speaking of hoping to not get murdered, I'm reading this
I'm not
romance.
that generous, I'm sorry.
And in this, I just started this webtoon, which I will admit right now, I am reading from a questionable source because Manta angered me. And now I must know what the hit list is. It's just Tina running up and telling us with those stitchy scans.
Also, I just completed one of the big of leaning back when I laugh. But
why do I want
to be on the hit list? You don't get free art because I'm not that generous. Although I was just thinking, it did occur to me because I did mention before I like the idea of doing where I like share my screen as I like draw for you guys, and I was thinking maybe doing it as a like on Discord, like not as a work and chill, but in our in the voice chat.
Yeah.
Like doing where I share my screen there, and then I'm just chitty chatting as you guys throw in requests. I think I will set it up as some sort of challenge-ish where you give me like my main idea is doing like character portraits where like you guys give me a description of your characters, but I'll limit how many words you guys get because I don't want like an essay, I'm sorry. Where like you give me a paragraph under a certain amount of words and then I draw the character to the best of my abilities accuracy wise. Well, now I like the idea of just not telling you guys when you qualify for the hit list. I think I'm just gonna say that you guys are on the hit list. But yeah, because I watched like Sam also watches Drawfee. They do like art challenges, and I feel like it would be a similar thing of being like, can I figure out what your character looks like with a limited? Ooh, maybe I should really limit it. Maybe like you guys get like 15 words max to describe your character, and then I draw them.
I have a dream to have Julia do my cover one day. What cover? I don't know, nor do I care. But I want Julia to do one of my covers.
You win the lottery and you're like, time to commission Julia.
Like, ever since she did that apocalyptic link, I've wanted her. That, and like, there's a couple episodes where she just like freestyle creates her own like script font and stuff, and I'm like,
yeah, her typography is beautiful. But yeah, I could even do like you give me the title of your book and I do like a thumbnail design of it, not like a full design, but like what would be like the little composition sort of thing, but just based off the title. No. You're accusing me of being mean, and you're like, Tina, you're so mean. How could you? And I'm like, I fight you about give some money. When did you think I was nice?
can we at least tell you? Hold on. Along with the title, could we also tell you the genre? Because I feel like that would be fair. Okay.
Title, genre, and maybe a
Tagline?
trope.
No.
Tagline would be a good idea if people have it. I'm like, I don't personally have the tagline, but I feel like
I don't have one, but I'll make one up, right?
But I feel like tagline gives you too many options to like make it as detailed as possible. You know, I'm like, give me as few details as possible, and let's see what happens. You know, or like, yeah, maybe it's like title, genre, and maybe like 3 tropes, sort of thing. You know,
True.
just so that I'm not completely in the dark. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of being completely in the dark and seeing what I come up with, based off of what you guys give me.
I mean, either way, it promises to be fun. But
yeah.
my head is starting to hurt, so we're gonna take off for the night. Thank you all for joining us. We will be around the server this week. Tomorrow is Tina Tuesday. I don't know what she's gonna do with her Tuesday, but I will. Hopefully, she'll hang out in the server with us. I make no promises.
I'll probably do a work and chill, honestly. But...
See, there you go. All right. Catch y'all later. Bye.
Bye.